Scientist arrested for smuggling vials using Ebola research in the United States. That's coming up in the next segment. And a bunch of other news. Let's continue with your phone calls. Jill in Arizona. You're on the air. Welcome.
Thanks, Alex. I'm a first-time caller, but I have two little things I want to address to you. One is, I think it was 3 weeks ago, you had a minister on who read you Romans 13 about everyone must submit himself to the governing authorities. You remember that, minister?
I think I had a minister, a Baptist preacher, who was beat up at an illegal checkpoint.
Well, he was saying that he was getting letters sent to him by the government to preach Romans 13. Well, anyways, on that note, if you read that one, that's from the New International Version of the Bible, but if you read the King James Version, it doesn't say anything like that. So one was put out by the government totally, and then the other one, the King James Version. Well, anyways, that was my point. And then the other question
No, let me just back you up. Look, it's real simple. All of the major prophets were either killed or the government tried to kill them for not following the government's orders. Jesus was killed for not following the political and religious leaders' orders. Paul was killed. They were all killed. And so, and Jesus went in and beat the money changers, and it was all about standing up against evil. And Moses said no to Pharaoh. And by the sickening Romans 13 misinterpretation, that was Hitler's favorite quote. You read Goebbels' writings, he would laugh at Christians, how they would use that. And it was really Hitler started that, and then, of course, our government adopted it. The 68 Gun Control Act is word for word, because former Senator Dodd, not the current one, the old one's dead, he had been on the Nuremberg trial as a lawyer. And so he took it and changed the German to English, changed the name, and only a few lines are changed of the bill. We have the Nazi gun control law here in America. So they love it. I mean, the government hasn't found something the Nazis did they don't love. Black uniforms, Homeland Security. It was called Reich Security, Land Security in Germany. It's all almost a carbon copy with a little bit of Soviet and East German and Chi-Com mixed into the management system. Literally, they admit they've drawn from all of these. And so Romans 13 is a complete, giant, stinking fraud, and that's why they teach it in the churches. Go ahead.
Okay, and my second part to the question is, we've been talking to some people here in Arizona, and one of the ladies said, why would you want to fight it? Why not just stand down and let them go ahead and do their tyranny? Why not bring the second coming in? And I'm thinking, well, it's not really going to bring the second coming because Christ is going to come whenever he wants to, not when they say, oh, here, we're going to bring tyranny to everybody so Christ will come. And so she basically told my husband and I that we were crazy and that we were lunatics and we should just stand down and not worry about it because the government...
Christianity has turned from go out and say slavery is wrong and be killed for it, or, take 1st century, 2nd century, 3rd century Christians in Rome killed by the hundreds of thousands over those several hundred years for not bowing down. Caesar said, you will bow to Jupiter, you will bow to Saturn, you will bow to Janus, you will bow, and they said no, and they said you die. Then according to the churches today, those Christians are going to hell because they should have hit their knees to Moloch. Now, it's asinine. But again, look, a cowardly, soft-handed, domesticated people that want to put on their little dresses and suits and go pimp around at church, and the guys find boyfriends and the girls find boyfriends, and that's what they do. The churches are the main homosexual facilities. And they go there, and that's where they find that's their sexual preference. My point is mainly Christian churches, the big ones, are for the men to have sex with men. And I'm not trying to shock people here on air. I mean, this is what I've discovered. I mean, take Bohemian Grove. Christian conservative leaders go there. It's a giant 15-day homosexual orgy. And I found the liberals like women. And I mean, it's I guess it sounds insane, ladies and gentlemen, but everything's insane. Anything else, ma'am?
So my husband said, so you're going to teach your kids to stand down and let them rape and do whatever they want to your kids. You're going to let them do that to your kids. And right now she teaches them homeschool. So I said to her, well, then if you say stand down, then why don't you send your kids back to school, so that the government can take control of them and do whatever they want to them and control them, because obviously that would be standing down.
Oh my God, print that one. Boy Scouts trained to become Homeland Gestapo. I told you under Secure Corps they were doing that, but oh my God. Ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just saw something on screen that blew me away. What did she say when you said that?
Well, she says, I am actually thinking about sending my kids back to public school.
Oh, it's of the Lord.
And I said, well,
I mean, look, you can't help her. Move on. Pearls before swine. That lady's going to have a rude awakening when she enters hell, probably. Yeah, no, California says it's illegal.